Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. Thank you for your love and your support. For those who have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, ensure you subscribe so that whenever I post any of my videos, you'll always be the first person to get it. And don't also forget to like, share this video. And guys, today I'm going to talk about rape. My previous video I covered about abortion. So basically my YouTube channel talks about issues affecting the society and also the medical conditions that are affecting a person, and I've talked so far about ascites. And another video that I've covered, it's about abortion. So guys, if you feel like you have any topic that you like me to cover, just say it in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Also guys, if you feel like you need me to talk about anything, or if you feel like I need to improve on something, just make sure you leave it on the comment section. And also for those who want to share their stories, maybe you want to share your story concerning what I'm talking about and you would like to share it through my YouTube video, guys, you can also share it in the comment section and I can get back to you so that you can know how you can be able to share your story. Your story may have an impact on someone else out there and you might be able to help them. So today guys, I'm going to talk about rape. And rape, actually, it's an issue that is affecting our society so much, and mostly those who are being affected are girls. I'm not saying that men are not being raped, but actually you find that for men it's not that common as in girls. And also for men, you find that some of them who are being raped, they feel ashamed to go and report, and so they keep quiet with it. But it's not that much as in for women. Girls are being raped out here so much by men. And you find in some communities there are some beliefs that predisposes the girls to rape. Like you can find in a community whereby there is this belief, they believe that having sex with a virgin actually cures HIV and AIDS, which is actually not true. It's a myth. And you find some people, because of that belief, they go on raping young girls so that they can be cured of the HIV and AIDS. I want to tell you today that it's a myth, and you're not going to be cured of the HIV and AIDS. You're only going to transmit it to the person that you're going to rape. You're not going to cure yourself. You're not going to get cured. So don't go raping young girls believing that you're going to get cured of HIV and AIDS. And also another thing about this rape, there's this thing that is known as victim blaming, whereby you find people, I've seen it actually in the social media so much, whereby you find people are actually criticizing or blaming the person who has been raped. You find whereby someone is asking, what was she doing there? She's the one who exposed herself. Why was she dressing like that? Why was she working in such a place? Why did he go to that boy's house? And so many questions like that. Guys, it's not a good thing. This person already is suffering emotionally, physically and psychologically. So you, when you do that thing we call victim blaming, you are actually adding to the psychological trauma of this person. You're making them to suffer more. Already they are not happy with what had happened to them, and you going on ahead to criticize them, it's actually lowering their self-esteem so bad. Yani the self-esteem is being lowered kabisa. So guys, we should stop this thing that is known as victim blaming. Actually, you will also not want to find you will also not want yourself to be blamed or to be criticized when you find yourself in such a situation. Instead, be your brother's keeper. Support them, help them get over what it is that they are going through instead of blaming them. Because one thing that is there, even if you're blaming them, it's not going to change the fact that that happened. and you're not helping them by blaming them. So you make sure you just help them, and if you find it so hard to help them, then don't say anything. Stop commenting bad comments, stop saying bad things about that situation. Like there's this situation or video that had been leaked about this girl who had been gang raped, and there are some people who are not friendly actually in the comment section. You find wherever this video is, people are talking, so some people, and you find some are even ladies, they're talking so awful, and it's not a good thing. It's not. So guys, if you know of any rape victim, support them emotionally, help them to get through this trauma. So guys, today about rape, I'm going to talk about the definition of rape, the different types of rape, the effects rape has on a victim, the rules and regulation in Kenya against rape, and lastly I'm going to cover the treatment for rape victims. And if you feel like there's something that I've missed out, or if there's something that I've said it wrongly, you can correct me. I'm actually not perfect. So we're going to begin. So what is rape? So rape actually, it's defined as unlawful and consensual sexual intercourse with a person, and the key word here, it's unconsensual, and you must also note that it is unlawful. It is against the law, and any sex that is done without consent, that one is considered as rape. As long as the partner or the other party has not consented, it's considered as rape. And you find in these situations, force can be used, or the individual can be threatened. And here I can give you an example whereby there's this video I saw of this particular girl. She was actually saying that she was being raped by the father actually, and the father used to threaten her that he will not pay her school fees if she does not accept to have sex with him. And here, one thing you guys must also note, that in rape, as long as you're having sex with a minor, whether the minor has consented or not, it's actually still considered as rape, and you can be arrested because they are a minor. They have not yet reached the legal age for consenting to have sex. So the young girl, because she did not want to stop going to school, she didn't have an option, and the father was always raping her and raping her and raping her. And you find some of these things are happening in those communities that are interior, and you find those communities they're located in the interior parts, whereby the people there that are not that much exposed. So you find they cannot even go to report, because even I think some of them don't know that it's something that you can report and have the person arrested. So you find this girl was being threatened, and you can also find in some situations even the father threatens that, or sometimes you even find the uncle. For those girls who live with the uncle, you find the uncle even threatens to throw you outside, or the father threatens to throw you outside the house. You have nowhere to go, and you have no one to depend to, so you have no otherwise. So, and sometimes you also find some of these perpetrators, they drug their victims, whereby they can put for you sleeping pills in your drink, such that you can even become unconscious, and that way you cannot even resist. You cannot resist the rape. So you must also be careful with whatever you eat or drink from someone that you do not trust. And let me tell you, even some of these people are people that you are trusting, those people that you have so much trust in them. they take advantage of that trust in you, and they can even drag you, and you find yourself in such a situation. So, and you find, as I said earlier, this rape mostly is being committed by males against females. And the funny thing about this rape is that you find it's being committed by people whom you know. As I said, people whom you trust, even you know, and you trust them, and you see that this person cannot hurt me, cannot do anything bad to me. Now those are the people who can take advantage of that trust and rape you. So you also ought to be careful with whom you're associating with. And so there are, according to section 42 of the Sexual Offences Act, that is one of the regulations in Kenya against rape. It provides that a person consents if he or she agrees by choice and has the freedom and capacity to make that choice. And it also makes it clear that the minimum age of consent is 18. So what does that mean? It means that for it to be considered a not rape, the person must consent. And also the person has to have freedom and capacity to make that choice. That means you taking advantage of a mad person, that just because they can't consent, or because someone is intoxicated or unconscious, that is still rape. So next I'm going to cover the different types of rape, and the first one, we have acquaintance rape. And in this type of rape, the perpetrator is known to the victim. And as I said, you find that most of these rapists, they're people whom you know and trust. They can be a friend, it can be a father, it can be a brother, it can be a cousin. So that one is known as acquaintance rape. The next type of rape we have is stranger rape, whereby, as the word itself states, the perpetrator is unknown to the victim. He is a stranger. And the third one, we have date rape, whereby this one, it occurs in people who are involved in a romantic relationship or intimate relationship. And here, the keyword is non-consensual sexual activity, non-consensual, without consent. So even if you guys are involved in an intimate relationship, such as this one we call boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, or the lovers relationship, as long as it's non-consensual, it is rape. You must know that. And next we have a marital rape. And in marital rape, it's between people who are married or spouses. And this one also, it's non-consensual. And actually, this marital rape, there are a lot of, I don't know what I should call them, but here you find like some people actually, or in some communities, it's not considered as rape. Actually, it's not considered as rape because they are married. So someone says no, that's her obligation to her husband, so it's not rape. But actually, it's also another type of rape, marital rape. I don't know what you think about it, but leave it in the comment section. Tell me what you think about marital rape. Should it be considered as rape, or should it not be considered as rape? As for me, I think it should be considered as rape because it's non-consensual. Next we have a statutory rape, whereby in this one, the sexual activity is with a minor. And as I said, it does not matter whether the minor gave consent or not. As long as they are below 18, they are considered as a minor, and they have not yet reached the legal age to give consent. So it is rape, and it is known as statutory rape. We have gang rape, and actually I think this is the worst, because here there are multiple perpetrators against one victim. Actually, I think in this type of rape, if someone can survive this type of rape, well, it's not that easy, because there are multiple perpetrators. They can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It does not matter, as long as it is more than one person. 2, 3, 4, it's known as gang rape, and it's actually usually against a single victim. Now here the victim is defenseless, and you find someone saying, why couldn't she defend herself? Even a single man cannot defend himself against 4 or I don't know 5, 6, 7 men. Like the recent rape case that has been trending on social media. Actually, I don't want to talk so much about it because yeah, I just don't want to talk so much about it. But like that one, it was a gang rape, and here there were 7 men against one single lady. And you find that I've just remembered there was this comment someone was saying at you, why couldn't she defend herself? Like seriously, how do you even defend yourself against 7 men? Even a single man cannot defend himself from 7 men. Like, and here you are saying how, why didn't she defend herself? How do you defend yourself from 7 men? Just put yourself in that situation. Just imagine, like how do you fight against 7 men? So you see, it is impossible. So before you leave your comment there, in case you hear about any rape case, before you leave your comment, just think about what you're saying. Is it making sense? Because to me that one does not make sense. How do you say that someone should defend themselves against 7 men? There, whether you like it or not, they will have their way with you. Whether you fight them or not, they will have their way with you. So Apple, there's nothing like defending yourself. And lastly, we have a drug facilitated rape, whereby here the perpetrator uses drugs to incapacitate the victim. You find someone can put even sleeping pills in your drink, and you such that you become unconscious, and they have their way with you because you cannot give consent, or you can't even resist the assault. You're just there because you are incapacitated. So next, you are going to cover the effects rape has on a victim. And one thing you must remember, that experience is really devastating and traumatizing. And it's not something that you'd want to go through actually. And you must also remember, I'm going to insist on this victim blaming thing, because it's becoming so common. People are blaming the victim, and trust you me, if you find yourself in that situation and people start blaming you, you can even commit suicide, because already your self-esteem is lowered, you are emotionally tortured, psychologically tortured, physically you're also tortured, and then, as if that's not enough, somebody is adding to your torture psychologically. You have not even yet recovered, but somebody is out there blaming you. They don't even know what got you into that situation, but they're out there blaming you. They don't know you, you don't know them. Just because they've heard of your situation, they're out there blaming you. Just think about it. It's not a good thing. And in the effects of rape, we are going to cover the physical effects, emotional and psychological effects, and the social effects. So the physical effects of rape include injuries, whereby the victim can have bruises, cuts, and even broken bones. These ones you find they can mostly occur when there is a struggle between the victim and the perpetrator, because you find in some situations you find that the victim can become frozen, and they can't even fight. They are shocked, so they don't even fight, they don't resist, they freeze. And you find in some situations some will fight, they don't want to be raped, and it can result in bruises, cuts, and even the broken bones. Another physical effect we have is STIs. Those are sexually transmitted infections such as gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, and also HIV/AIDS can be transmitted through the process. The last one, we have unwanted pregnancies and unsafe abortions. So actually, unwanted pregnancies come before unsafe abortion. You can't have abortion if you are not pregnant. So unwanted pregnancy, you had not planned for that pregnancy, so it's definitely unwanted. And you find in some situations, like in these communities where wenye nilisema initially wako huko ndani ndani, in those interior parts of Kenya, you find the moment a girl gets pregnant, the family does not want to suffer from shame. So they don't want it to be known to other people that their girl is pregnant. And you find if these people don't take part in honor killing, they can do safe abortion. And what do I mean by honor killing? Honor killing is whereby this girl is killed. They kill her so that to avoid the shame. And the unsafe abortion, I had talked about abortion in my previous video, and I talked about the unsafe methods that people use out here to get rid of pregnancies. And I will advise you, in a situation whereby you find someone has been raped, if you go to the hospital within 72 hours, you can actually avoid getting pregnant instead of taking part in abortion. There are those emergency pills that they can give you, and you actually won't get pregnant. Well, there's also this thing I had. I'm not sure about it, so you guys can also comment about this one in the comment section. Whereby I heard that if you are raped and you get pregnant, they can actually assist you in doing abortion. I don't know if it is true, I don't know. Like when you go to the hospital, this one you are allowed. Actually, I heard like that you're allowed to take out the pregnancy. But for me, I believe the moment you are raped and you go to the hospital within 72 hours, first they're going to give you, there's this medication to prevent you from getting HIV and AIDS. It's called PEP. It's sinful, it's post-exposure prophylaxis. This one helps you not to become HIV positive, and that is if you're not HIV positive. So first they will test you to confirm that you're not HIV positive, and if they find that you're HIV positive, then it means you got it from somewhere else, not actually from the rape. And there's also the emergency pills. I don't know if it's the P2 they give you to prevent you from getting pregnant. And the other thing we have is emotional and psychological effects. And in emotional and psychological effects, we have a post-traumatic stress disorder. And for those who have experienced post-traumatic stress disorder, they know it's a condition that occurs as a result of being exposed to a traumatic event, and it's mostly characterized by their nightmares, severe anxiety. There is the startled response, that is kushtuka. You have flashback. It's like you're reliving that moment. Next, we have depression and anxiety, and it is the victim is always sad. She's hopeless, and most of all, she's always fearful. For example, if you find maybe she was raped by someone whom she trusted, someone whom she never anticipated can never rape her, she will just be fearful of everybody. Because remember, this one is not even a stranger. And if it's a stranger, she will always be fearful of all strangers that she meets, especially men. Next, we have shame and guilt. The victims feel ashamed of themselves, and they also feel that it's their fault that they got raped. They keep on blaming themselves, and then there is you out there who is adding to it. You come and continue blaming them. Instead of encouraging them, you come and you also start blaming them. Already they're blaming themselves, and you're coming to add up to it. Next, we have our fear and trust issues. They really struggle to trust others, because they're always afraid that they can be assaulted once again. And lastly, we have dissociation, whereby the survivors disconnect from their emotions or feel detached from reality. And this one can occur during the assault. Oh, that one was not the last one. We have the last one, which is denial. They live in constant denial. They have not yet accepted. They have not yet come into terms with the fact that they have been raped. Next, we have the social effects. And in the social effects, we have stigma and shame. So, in stigma and shame, here you find the survivor is being stigmatized or isolated by the society. Nobody wants to associate with her. I don't know why, by the way. I don't know why. You people tell me in the comment section, why would you stigmatize a rape victim? Tell me in the comment section. I don't know why they are actually stigmatized, but you tell me in the comment section, why would you stigmatize a rape victim? We have shame, whereby, as I told you earlier, in some societies, you find that, for example, that rape can lead to, for example, the unwanted pregnancy. So the family becomes ashamed of this girl because she got pregnant actually out of wedlock. She's not married, but she's already pregnant. So the family feels very ashamed of her. We have a relationship strain, whereby survivors, they face a lot of challenges in their relationship with their families, their friends, and even their partners. So here, maybe find the survivor, the family members, maybe because they feel ashamed of the victim, because maybe she's pregnant, that is if she's not married. You find the partner, she feels this girl, I don't know how I should explain it actually, guys, but anyway, you find that they're really struggling with the relationships they have with other people, because they have even the trust issues itself, especially if you find the victim was raped by someone whom they knew and they trusted. Then they find it really hard to associate with even the rest of the family members. They just believe they can be subjected again to the same torture with the same people whom they may choose to trust once again. Next, we have a social withdrawal. The victims want to isolate themselves from other people. They don't want to partake in any social activities. They don't want to be associated with anyone. They just want to be left alone. We have the work and school impact, whereby their concentration becomes low. If it's a student, you find the school performance may be affected. If it's somebody who is working, they do not give their energy and their all in their work, so the performance is just lowered because they have the low self-esteem. Kitu ya kwanza, they just feel ashamed of themselves. They are blaming themselves a lot, and yeah, that's all. And there are also some other consequences, whereby you find that the victim may become a drug addict. They start taking drugs. They turn to drugs. This one, they use it as a coping mechanism, because you find it, the way I've said it, you find it in some situations whereby the victim maybe amekuwa isolated. The family members, they feel ashamed of her. She has no one to turn to, so she just turns to drugs as the coping mechanism to make her feel better. I don't know how drugs solves people's problems, because I myself have never become a drug addict. I've never taken drugs, but I don't know how it solves problems, because you find most people, watu wako na stress, watu wako na, yani people with depression, most of them turn to drugs. Next we have self-harm and suicidal thoughts, whereby the victim may decide to harm themselves and even kill themselves. Mtu anaona maisha imemfikisha mwisho, nobody wants her anymore, nobody wants to accept her, people are isolating her, people are blaming her, people are shaming her. She just decides, let me kill myself. So guys, you people must understand what these people are going through, and you have to learn to understand them, help them cope, help them to understand that it's not their fault, help them so that they can be able to at least avoid these things like the substance abuse and the suicide. You should not stigmatize them. And as for rape victims, you people should also feel, you should encourage yourselves. One thing you must know, it's not your fault that you got raped. It's not your fault at all, and you should not blame yourself. Have that positive attitude in life. And one thing you must accept is that it has happened. It has happened, it has already happened. And it cannot be changed. Whether you blame yourself or not, it cannot change. And the moment you accept that it has already happened, you can also help yourself to cope with life and everything. We have actually the only rule and regulation, or the only regulation I found in Kenya against rape is known as the Sexual Offences Act 2006, which defines rape as the unlawful penetration of the vagina, mouth, or anus, and without consent of the victim. Remember, without consent is the key word. The Sexual Offences Act also talks about penalties that can be given to sexual offenders or the rapists, and it may include lengthy prison sentences and fines. It also talks about the consent, whereby I talked about the part where the victim must have the freedom and capacity to give consent also. It talks about how you can be able to report these rape cases and how they are being investigated. I did not go into details, but I think if you find that law, it can provide you with the specific details. We have protection of the victim, whereby here it provides on how the victim can be protected from for example, you find this situation whereby now the rapist or the relatives of the rapist, they don't want this victim to go and report this case to the police, and they are doing everything, including threatening the victim and the family, so that they won't report the case or tell anyone about it. Yeah, it happens. So it provides on how the victim can be protected. It also explains the medical examinations that are carried out on a victim. And lastly, it talks about this thing we call a statute of limitations, whereby here, I don't know if it was in the past, whereby there was a time limit for prosecuting this crime, the rape crime, but this the law, it abolished the statute of limitation, whereby there is no time limit. They can be prosecuted any time. Also, if you know of any other law that talks about this rape, you can leave it in the comment section for others to see, for those who want to go and see about these laws and read what they talk about. I talked about the effects of rape. There are some additional consequences of rape that I may want to add, like miscarriage. For example, if a woman is pregnant, it may result to miscarriage, maybe due to the physical force that is involved. The victim can get STIs. I talked about STIs. There is a mortality whereby the victim may die. We have the increased risk of suicide. The victim decides to kill themselves. We have depression, unsafe abortions, and unwanted pregnancies. So, lastly, I said I was going to talk about the treatment for rape victims. And before I cover the treatment for rape victims, let me talk about a bit of the honor killing and forced marriages that may come as a result of a person being blamed. So, here I'm going to give a scenario whereby you find a girl has been raped, for example, and after the girl has been raped, you find her, she sometimes ends up pregnant. So when she becomes pregnant, you find her, the family, they feel ashamed. They feel ashamed of the girl. For them, they don't understand that this girl was raped. And you find these things, some of them, I don't know if it happens in the modern families, but let me say, I think this thing is more in the interior people who are not yet exposed. For them, all they're thinking about is shame, how they're going to feel ashamed. The girl got pregnant out of wedlock. So you find the girl is being forced in any random suitor that comes that wants to marry the girl and accepts the girl the way she is forced to marry the guy. It doesn't matter whether she's underage or she doesn't like the guy, she's just forced to marry that guy. And in honor killing, you find the girl is killed, especially in cases where virginity is considered highly mandatory before marriage. So the relatives, they don't want, the family, they don't want to bring shame upon themselves. This girl is no longer a virgin. She has been raped. She's going to aibisha us. She's going to ashame us. So they decide to kill her. And it is known as honor killing. So lastly, I said I'm going to talk about the treatment for rape victims. And first things first, here, first a consent is obtained from the, actually in the medical world, before anything is done unto you, consent must be obtained. Before you go for any surgery, before you're given any treatment, before they do even a physical examination on you, they must obtain your consent. The medics must obtain your consent before anything medical is performed on you. A consent must be given, and there are some legal forms which are signed to show that you have accepted for that particular procedure to be performed on you. So first the consent is obtained. After consent is obtained, and actually I think there's this first detailed explanation is given concerning the physical examination and what it entails. I think this should come before the consent, whereby they explain to you how they're going to carry the physical examination on you, what they want to, the samples they will take, how they're going to do this physical examination. Everything is given to you in details, and even your questions are answered. Then you can decide whether you want the physical examination to be done on you. So they first start with the general physical examination. Here they look for bites, broken teeth, swellings, bruises, broken bones, scratches on your body. This one's mostly you find in victims whereby the rapist, the perpetrator, let me call them the perpetrator and the victim was struggling. Next we have diagnostic tests are carried out whereby blood samples are collected. Body fluids are also collected to check for infection, and also imaging is done. Imaging involves doing x-rays, CT scans, those are computed tomography, MRI, that is magnetic resonance imaging. And lastly, here in the treatment, we have a forensic sampling. Here is whereby samples are collected from the victim, samples that can be used as evidence to prosecute this perpetrator, and a lot of samples can be collected. Okay, I don't know, in some situations you find they may find hairs, maybe for example you scratched the victim. Those evidences from your nails are collected. They can actually be used to identify the perpetrator, especially if the perpetrator was a stranger. And apart from identifying, they can be used as evidences to show that this person actually raped this girl. We have the semen, which can be collected. And photographs are also taken. And here also, before you continue, you must remember your consent must also be obtained, whether you want the evidences to be collected. So your consent is first obtained. So photographs can be taken of the injuries. A rape kit is used. And one thing about for samples to be collected vizuri, do not shower. Do not, just the way you are after you are raped, and you want this person to be prosecuted, you want them to be arrested, just go to the hospital how you are. Do not shower. You will tamper with the evidence, you will interfere with the evidence. Do not shower, usioge, just go like that. And it's good if you go before 72 hours are over. Yeah, I think I've covered everything. More on the treatment, you can be given more information concerning the treatment when you go to the hospital, because other things that can be done include the pelvic exam to check for internal injuries. Colposcopy can be done to visualize internal injuries of the cervix and the vagina, and also genital injuries can be assessed. So that was all about rape. And I would like to encourage the rape victims, if you are raped, do not hesitate to go and report. Save another person out there, because you yourself know how traumatizing this thing is. So save a sister out there, and report huyo mtu ashikwe aekwe ndani. At least you'll save someone else from being raped. And another thing, hii leo nimeinsist sana, I hope you guys have noted, mambo ya blame the victim. Do not blame the victim. Instead, support them. Give them emotional support. Encourage them. Give them encouraging words. Give them hope. Do not blame them, okay? Have pity on them. It does not matter whether it was their fault or not, because what has happened has already happened, and blaming them won't change anything. So don't blame them. We should stop this victim blaming thing. Don't blame them at all. Support them, encourage them, be there for them, help them cope, so that they do not murder themselves or turn to drugs as their coping mechanism. So I think that is all that I have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to my video. Let's meet again in my next video. And you've listened to my video, so don't forget to subscribe, or just subscribe, support me, and like and share this video. So let's meet in my next video, guys. Thank you so much, and bye.